Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. So I know that you're probably thinking, someone with a beard and a microphone, are they going to sing a song? I hate to let you down. I'm not a Eurovision Song Contest winner. I'm Phil Evans from CGI. Okay. Okay. So as Mick has said, it's been quite a journey over 3 years now for us to get to this point, and I think it's quite exciting for us to be stood here today in this fantastic building and to present what we have as the first version of the Helix Nebula marketplace. So, once I have some slides. The Helix Nebula marketplace we saw as the natural step from the work that we'd taken as part of the initiative, as part of the FP7 work which we'd done over the past 2 years. And moving towards production in the marketplace, these are things which we want to try and achieve with the marketplace. So we're supporting commercial cloud providers and e-infrastructure providers into the marketplace, that these cloud services which are available, they're trusted cloud services compliant with EU regulations. Try to simplify the procurement process, so these organizations which may have complex rule-based procurement processes, it will be easy for them to buy cloud resources through the Helix Nebula marketplace. What we are offering to the global scientific research community, but also beyond that, and into commercial research organizations, and that from the start we'll offer large-scale HPC-type deployments. The marketplace has the initial providers are here on the slide, and we can see here what we have for day one. We have a brokerage platform, the IaaS broker, which is based on the Slipstream software that Mick had spoken about, and Meb is available to give demos throughout the day and tomorrow if you would like to see more about the platform itself. And what we have integrated are 4 commercial providers: Atos, Cloud Sigma, Interroute, and T-Systems. And our roadmap for this year is that we finalize that integration with the EGI federated cloud, so the user organizations that want to use the already existing e-infrastructure platforms, they can use that as well in conjunction with the marketplace. Well, we also have driven out of one of the flagship applications which we've used on the platform so far, we also have the EC2 bridge. And this was driven by some user requirements from EMBL. What the EC2 bridge allows you to do is if you're using tooling that you may already be using with Amazon, for example, like Star Cluster, like EMBL use, you can now use that on the Helix Nebula marketplace. So the ecosystem of tools which are being built up around Amazon can be used within the marketplace. What we have is CGI in this environment as the marketplace operator. It's an organization which is bringing all this together in terms of the day-to-day operations, and we'll talk a little bit more about those roles on one of the later slides. To be clear, the platform is available. It's online. It's being used by those 3 existing flagship providers. Today, my job is quite easy because after our coffee break and photo session, you will see presentations from 3 of those organizations who are using the platform now. And I'm quite sure that they'll do a fantastic job of showing the sorts of things which they're using the platform for and how they're interacting with it. There are multiple roles which people may be playing in the marketplace. They may be a supplier, an IaaS provider, or a tooling provider, as we've spoken about. They may also be an organization which is consuming those cloud resources. But in this platform where we have multiple suppliers and we have to manage interaction between those suppliers, we have to have some sort of service management in place. And so as the marketplace operator, we'll put together definitions of our service management. These are the sorts of things that you would imagine that you will see when across service management. We also have some standard operations type activities such as onboarding users onto the platform, also onboarding new providers onto the platform, administration of that platform, and also support. What we've talked about so far, I think, through each of the presentations is that from a technical perspective, we want you to be able to see this as a single platform, okay? And it goes beyond that as well. But we want to simplify these commercial situations so that it's, so you're not going individually to lots of different providers necessarily, but also that we have to do this from a support perspective as well. As a user, you don't want to maintain a huge long list of all of these different providers, so that when something goes wrong, you open the scroll and you go, okay, whose number do I need to ring, and give them a ring. We don't want that to happen. So from a support perspective as well, we want to have that integrated. And we have that integrated. So when a user will, if they have any issues whilst using the platform itself or with one of the cloud providers, they log that with our centralized help desk. And the help desk will then look at that issue and work out which of those providers those issues lies with. Or perhaps it will lie with multiple providers. And it's to take away the onus is then on the users to try to have to suss out where those problems are. And as marketplace operator, those issues or incidents are then delegated to the various organizations which will then look and solve that issue. Just one quick slide. We do have a ticketing tool in place which users can now log their issues with. Someone's logged a very nice message there for us to let us know that the Helix Nebula marketplace is awesome. I don't know who put that ticket in there, but I agree with the sentiments anyway. So to look, this is Helix Nebula 1.0, where we are. We have the Slipstream version 2.1 is now deployed and being used by those organizations. There are two possibilities for API. You're either using the REST API, the native API for Slipstream, or the EC2 bridge. We've talked a little about those commercial arrangements that we need to have in place for organizations to consume from the marketplace at this point. We have federated service management in place and a unified support service for the users to be able to use that. Those 4 initial cloud providers, high-speed internet or Xeon access for the existing flagship users. Our EGI integration, I believe at a technical level, is there now, and we're working out the best way in which we can interact with EGI into the marketplace. And we have a service catalog there. This is our version 1.0. We know there's some way to go. We don't just walk away from this now and stop. There's lots to do. And I think that's quite exciting, but that's Yuri's presentation, and he will give that later on this afternoon. So thanks for listening to me talk through these slides. I hope you enjoy the later presentations about the applications which are being used. And just to say that if you want more information specifically about the marketplace, you can go to our website, which is the helix-nebula.eu with HNX at the start, and you can get in touch if you are a supplier or a flagship and application provider who would maybe like to use the marketplace, or alternatively through the initiative itself. And that's everything. Thank you.
Okay, so we have some time for some questions now, based on all the presentations you've seen, as well from Phil and Mick. So the floor's open for discussion.
Yeah, I have one question. I present myself first. I'm Najanafa from Prolog in France. Mm-hmm. I have seen heterogeneous cloud that you are connected to with list of requirements that have been done on a slide. What I have not seen is the possibility of interoperation between those clouds. That means, can we move one workload from one cloud to another and continue to work transparently?
I think
which could be a need that is,
Yeah, I think it's an interesting topic. I mean, I'd like to touch briefly on some of the functionality that we have within the brokerage platform around creating version-controlled recipes, which would allow you to deploy your application across multiple clouds. This is something we're exploring with our users at this point. It requires some investment up front, but we do believe that that will pay dividends and is the correct approach to take. So in theory, your application can be deployed across those multiple providers. I think also, as we have the ESA flagship presentation later, you will see that there is, on the ESA flagship specifically, interaction across those multiple cloud providers where data is stored across multiple clouds and being consumed across them. On day one, can you click a button and it will tunnel through amongst those clouds? No, not right now. But from an implementation perspective, that can be done and is being done.
And just to add that you'll see as well from the CERN one from Domenico that we are deploying on multiple clouds simultaneously as well. Further questions?
Yes, my name is Kurt Baumann from Switch. I have a question. Your colleague before said we have not bill at the end of the month who is using these resources and so on. But my question to you is, how do you have solved the accounting system? Comes this with further presentations, or?
I think not in this session. I don't think we go in depth into that at the moment. But apparently we do. But what happens at the moment is that there will be an arrangement with the marketplace operator for consumption for accessing the marketplace itself, and the arrangements then in terms of consumption of and payment for cloud resources remains between the user organization and the cloud provider. And so that is the approach at this point that we are taking in terms of day 1.0.
I can confirm we are getting bills.
Yeah.
Further questions? Come on, don't be shy.
Nice simple ones, please.
Yeah. Otherwise you're going to have to sing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm Philippe Saint-Pierre from Orange. How is the consumer decides to run a workload in one or the other? You get access to the characteristics, the SLA, anything characterizing the offer by provider, and then he selects, or is it transparent to the point to him entirely?
So within the platform, there is a service catalog which will list the products which are made available by the different IaaS providers and the cost of those. And ultimately, we see it's down for the user to look and to see which resources they feel is best for them to use. And I think certainly through the marketplace, although we're trying to make this look as a single thing, we don't want to take away the opportunity of those cloud providers to work with those end users themselves and to look at what specific characteristics of their own cloud they may see as beneficial for that user. So at a starting point, there's that service catalog there, but there will continue to always be this relationship ultimately between the cloud provider and the end user.
Maran Sakarati from Izuk. You mentioned also in one of the presentations that there is a possibility of having a hybrid solution of your in-house infrastructure and going to the Helix Nebula. What are the requirements on your inside side? Is it something that the brokerage layer is going to take care of, or do you need to adopt something from the inside? And is it then, if you would do that, then your in-house users can basically via the marketplace decide where they're going to deploy it, in-house or outside, or is it just technically possible to run pieces of your software on your in-house infrastructure and the rest on the Helix?
So what we're aiming for at this point from a hybrid perspective is operation between the EGI fed cloud and then the Helix Nebula commercial cloud providers. But I don't have an answer myself as to how that integration, but Meb will. And so if we could actually pass to Meb to answer that particular question.
Thank you. Hello. Thanks for the question. The model can be seen as asymmetric. So the same technology that is being used to federate the different cloud operators inside the cloud providers inside the Helix Nebula can actually also be used to bridge between a private infrastructure and Helix Nebula itself. Okay, so that's one deployment model that can work. What is interesting in what Phil just mentioned is the way we are integrating or working on integrating EGI, which is in itself a federation of clouds, also has the same attributes that you might have if you had a multi-site private cloud. So all of those integration patterns are actually relevant to, in terms of possible solutions to the case you're mentioning, which has other characteristics that we would have to look into the details. So I think what is interesting here is that the integration pattern that we are using here can also be applied in a very similar way to bridge in to create a hybrid scenario between a private infrastructure and the Helix Nebula marketplace.
Hi. I just had a quick question. I was wondering what type of business case models do you guys have here? Is this some sort of revenue sharing model? What type of models have you guys explored from a business financing model?
I think I would say that in terms of presenting that particular information and concrete details isn't something which we would share in a public forum, but it's definitely a conversation that we can have outside of this and ways in which other cloud providers could then come into the marketplace.
Hello, I'm Johannes Watzel from Deutsche Börse Cloud Exchange. And what is your exact definition of marketplace?
You just asked me the meaning of life. I can only give my own definition of that, but an environment in which users can consume one to many different cloud services. And at this point, we have our brokerage platform and multiple IaaS services, but we will, in terms of our roadmap and what we have, we'll look to build up across that software stack into the higher levels of as services. And so for me, its simplistic level is the consumption of many different types of services which we don't have a finalized definition on. If there is a service which can be offered and users want, ultimately it can be offered in the marketplace. Matching supply and demand, as Yuri says, in one short sentence, yeah.
Yes?
Now it's time for the song.
I have another question. I was trying to understand how the user, the consumer requirements are captured, because consumer can be a very large community. So how would you understand the usage requirements? How do you capture it? How do you prioritize? Is there anything like that? Because anyone could use the marketplace in the end, or any researcher.
I mean, in terms of the approach which we've taken so far, through the FP7 project, we have a requirements framework which has been put together, and through that we've been capturing the requirements of the various flagships which are being run on the platform so far. And as part of our flagship providers looking to enter the initiative, we do have a form which they fill out and explain the application which they want to bring to the marketplace. And so this is the approach which we've been taking so far. And I think the requirements for the initial 3 flagship providers are available on the Helix Nebula Initiative website. They've been made available as part of the FP7 project. 3 minutes 26.
Just time for Sunday.
Pardon?
No? Okay, if there's no further questions, so we have coffee break now. This is the opportunity as well, as said, that if you want to have a demonstration, Marc-Élien Béguin from 6 Squared can show you some demonstrations over there. Coffee will be coming on place here. We start again at 4 o'clock with the presentations of the details of the specific scientific applications which have already been deployed using the HNX. Okay? It's already taken because we were worried about the rain. It's been taken from up there, and we've got you already done, and you didn't